We are back with the second episode of the missing content in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Today we're going to be focusing on maps, and I just want to say thank you for all the support on the skins video I posted. Now, I'm going to clear this up straight away. There are a lot less missing maps from the game than there are skins, and we're talking about things from the files here because there were not many but a few confused comments last time out, even though I explained things, so please, if you're confused, just listen to this real quick. A few of you wondered, and I mean a few of you, why was I focusing on beardless Han Solo or Luke Skywalker with a few less robes rather than skins for Maul, Palpatine, heroes like that? Because we're going off things that have been data mined from the game's files. In other words, content that has at some point been planned for the game and then either been scrapped or they've just not had the time to get back to it and it's remained in the game's files, or in some cases been taken out, but overall hasn't been added into the final version of the game that we can all play. And that's the same with maps here today. So before I get the Coruscant comments, the Utapau comments, the Mustafar comments, none of them are in the video. Also, I'm not going to be including maps from the campaign. However, there is one, but what I'm not going to be doing is saying, well, Pillio's not in the game, so we need all the Pillio maps from the campaign. Or where's Vardos, for example? All the campaign maps for Vardos we need in the multiplayer. That's not how this is going to work either, because I'll be honest with you, they've never planned for any type of Vardos map to appear in the multiplayer unless there's something they're not telling us, so there's no point including every map from the campaign as well. However, there is one in here and you'll understand why when we get to it. Leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff guys if you do enjoy, and thank you to Mophead, who once again I'm using footage from his video to bring this to you today. So moving into these maps, and the first one is Crait Heroes vs Villains, and this is that map, isn't it? That nobody can understand as to why it's not in the game. I've said various times that I think the devs are definitely worried about that first phase being too open, and an easy resolution to that is just to use the second or third phase from Galactic Assault. Maybe they want the full Crait feel and they want to try and work it out for the first phase. I don't think it's got anything to do with The Lost Jedi and maybe some of the fans not liking that, because I'm not really a fan of that. But I love Crait, and I'd really like to see it in the game, and I know so many other people who feel that way, so I think this is just map difficulties, the map being too open.
Do you like your catastrophes with a dash of salt? Then deactivate those empathy protocols, because today is your lucky day. Red soil or red blood? Why choose when our fighters will provide an abundance of both to satisfy your morbid fascinations? Abandoned bases meet fresh devastation. There'll be no shortage of salt in the wounds for today's sore losers. Let the painful demises begin.
But as you can see, this footage from the files is from that phase 1 and it looks incredible. The sunset and everything like that reminds me of when Luke was on Crait, or so we thought he was on Crait, and I'd really like to see this map. It looks astonishing. It could be the best looking map in the game, especially at this time of day. And plus you've got all the underground areas as well that I think could work here. Number 2 is another Crait map, and don't worry, this just isn't Crait here, but this one is another Crait one, and that's Crait Strike. Now this is on that second / mainly third phase of Crait, and I think this would be brilliant. Why do I think this isn't in the game? Mainly because Strike doesn't have the player base there. It's probably a lot of time to put into something that isn't going to get played too much, and I wish Crait was in Strike, to be honest. It might get me to play Strike that bit more, but honestly the game mode isn't too fun. I know I'm going to have the Strike defenders in the comments, and that's absolutely fine, but I kind of get why this one isn't in the game. Now the final Crait map at number 3 is Crait Co-op. Now we've got all the sequel maps in co-op, even Starkiller Base, which isn't featured in Capital Supremacy. If you look at Capital Supremacy actually real quick for the sequel era, it's Takodana, Jakku, and Ajan Kloss, and Crait and Starkiller Base are missing. But then when you move on to co-op, you've got those 3 maps and Starkiller Base, but Crait is missing once again. They really don't seem to like Crait, but there's a voice line in the files. We'll play that right now.
Soldiers, we've been made aware of a ragged resistance band holding out on Crait. Our objective is to eliminate them and secure the area.
The First Order will throw everything they have at us, but with the Force as our ally, we'll prevail.
I fail to understand how the Resistance riffraff managed to withstand our attack. We are clearly lacking in both discipline and resolve. Both shall be rectified.
Now I'd love to see this in co-op. Like, I can't get over how much of a big Crait fan I am myself, and I think this is a big missed opportunity, especially with the prequels having all 5 of their maps and the sequels having 5 currently, along with obviously Kessel as well and the arrival of Scarif. And the sequels are missing one of their maps, and arguably their best looking, most unique map, so get this one in please, DICE. Now if you haven't clicked off already because of Crait constantly featuring in this video, then you're in for a treat, because there's a Kylo Ren campaign level on Pillio that was cut, so the final mission of the original campaign before the DLC with Resurrection. There's a bit more of Pillio that wasn't added into the game, and this one eludes me, to be honest, because one of the biggest complaints with that campaign was how short it was. And before DICE even, obviously the game came out, so before they even published their game, they didn't know what the backlash was going to be like on the campaign, so it eludes me as to why this wasn't put in the game anyway. Maybe they didn't get time to finish it, but at the end of the day, people really wanted this campaign at the time and they missed another level. It looks pretty cool, and while there's nothing in the files for this being multiplayer based, it's entirely campaign based. I just thought it would be cool, because another Pillio mission possibly. There's like voice lines and everything, we'll listen to some of that as well.
We have been expecting you.
Show me to the prisoner.
Of course. This way, please. We had to physically subdue the prisoner. I hope that's alright. My men kept damage to a minimum. Some bruising, a few scrapes, a broken bone or two. Nothing that would get in the way of your questions, of course. We're not savages.
Finally, the original Ewok Hunt map, the really dark one. I suppose both of them are really dark, but the really dark one where you can't see, well, this is in the files for Blast. Now, Blast still gets maps added to it, to be fair. I think Blast is always going to be a mode that's not going to be the most popular, but at the same time, it's not going to be the least popular. Some people do like that team deathmatch style gameplay as a break away from the other modes. I am included in that as well. Maybe not as much as other people, but I am included there. Now, I think this is worth a shot. Add this to the game. Don't adjust the brightness or anything. Just allow the grenades and the firing from the weapons to be the light. And add this into the game as a trial run and see what it's like playing Blast on a completely dark map. And if it does well, add the other Ewok Hunt map into the game, the Galactic Assault one, but keep the lighting really dark and try this out. This would be great for a Halloween playlist come October time. This would even be pretty cool just in general to get people playing Blast. I know if they added really dark maps like this, where it's a bit of a challenge to see, because obviously you have dark areas in the game here and there, but nothing where you completely can't see unless you're playing Ewok Hunt. Add this into Blast with the infantry classes and the reinforcements, and I'd be down to play some Blast again. And there are the 5 maps, everyone. I'm just awaiting those people who didn't watch the start to be complaining like, where's Coruscant? Where's Utapau? You think these are the 5 maps I want in the game? Hopefully most of you listened to the intro. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Do be sure to like and subscribe if you are new to the channel as well. And next time, what will we be covering in this incomplete missing series? I'll see you all next time.